Hello my dear friends, hello YouTubers. Today we'll talk about two main topics for Ukraine this week. The one, of course, the Wagnergate situation with the investigation of Bellingcat, and the other, we'll talk about the public opinion in Ukraine in different sociology research. At first, we'll start from the Wagnergate. In this week, Bellingcat released their investigation of the situation with operation of special forces of Ukraine for gathering the Wagner soldiers for capture the Wagner soldiers. This problem is very old in Ukraine because this scandal, political scandal, go on from the last year. I'll remind you that last year in mass media was published information that Ukrainian president or maybe head of his office, Mr. Yermak, postponed the special operation of the main department of intelligence of Ukraine, which gathering the collection of documents of persons who was against of Ukraine, who were against of Ukraine in Donbas, who possibly made a crimes against humanity. Moreover, Ukrainian intelligence service made possible to capture these people because leaded the operation during this operation 33rd person of so-called Wagner group of Wagner is unofficial private war company under the governance, under the management of Russian special forces, of Russian Ministry of Defense, of federal security agencies, like mass media wrote. And this special operation, which was prepared by the Ukrainian intelligence forces, maybe with the help of international Western partners, they just make unofficial, not real company, war company MAR, which possible collecting the person who has war experience to defense, to secure the Russian oil objects in Venezuela. Of course, it was fake, absolutely fake. It was work of Ukrainian intelligence forces. But during this fake information, they make many announcements of gathering people to this work, and hundreds of Russian citizens who took participation in the war in Donbas called to this announcement and sent to this announcement their documents, which shows their participation in Ukrainian conflict in Donbas. Moreover, some of them maybe was a part of different type of crimes which was made in Donbas, including the killing people in the flight MH international flight MH17. Part of this people, 33 of them, Ukrainian investigation service took to the Belarus and promised them to go to the Turkish and then to Venezuela. But during this flight, under the territory of Ukraine, there was plan to put down plane and capture all these people who are under the investigation in Ukraine. This is the main description of this operation, but during leading this operation, mass media wrote the political president of Ukraine, or maybe head of his administration, postponed this operation, and then these people was captured by Belarusian special forces, Belarusian KGB, and then they was taken back to the Russia after the Putin's call to Lukashenko. In Ukraine, this situation, many oppositional authors describing in Ukraine, this situation, many oppositional forces and politicians describing like bilateral from the for the president or his head of his administration, and prepared a great scandal. General Bureau of Investigation of Ukraine continue investigation for this topic, but there is no result for this time. Ukrainian mass media and special task commission of Ukrainian parliament make their investigation, but due this investigation there is no answer who postponed the operation. As a result, it was broken, and all people, all political system of Ukraine was waiting for this investigation of Bellingcat, which Bellingcat first time said about this investigation near 1 year ago. Then they promised to publish it half a year ago, but it was published in this week, and there is no also answer who is guilty of postponing this operation. But there is a words of the ex-head of main department of intelligence of Ukraine, Mr. Burba, who said that exactly Yermak postponed this operation. But there is no any evidence for this, and as a result, this very big informational bubble will not lead to any political crisis in Ukraine. There is no any claiming of the Zelensky or even people who are around of him. Just a bubble information, no problem for Ukrainian government, but in anything, this situation will make influence for the political situation in Ukraine, because more than 1 year Ukrainian authorities said there was no any operation. They more than 1 year Ukrainian authorities don't set rules for Ukrainian society, and this mistruths of course will make influence for the situation of Ukraine. Moreover, we should remember that this weak investigation of Bellingcat, no evidence, no claims in this investigation, also should be a result negotiation between the Office of President of Ukraine and the English partners, who due mass media information are very influenceable to the different type of investigation of Bellingcat, because Bellingcat should be connected with the intelligence service of Britain, Mi-7. Very interesting situation, but I will talk you about my version what happened. Sorry for my voice, I will try to do it how it is going on. For my information and how I understand this situation, this situation is much more complicated as it looks on the first glance. For better understanding of what is happening last July last year, you should take the calendar, and political calendar and ordinary calendar. And I remind you that 21st of July last year, 2020, Ukrainian government, Ukrainian president made a new agreement with the participation of Germany and France and Russia of new stopping the fighting in the Donbass. That agreement was working on more than half year till the end of 2020. That agreement was very important for Zelensky because low level of clashes of fighting in Donbass made it possible to deeper political negotiation, to find the compromise model for Donbass. Unfortunately, political negotiation was not successful, but in any case, more than 7 months, this stopping of war, this low level of clashes was working on. So I remind you, 21st President and his representatives make this agreement, and 25th of July, after 4 days of this agreement, and this agreement stopping the war should be start from the 27th of July. 21st they made agreement, which will work from the 27th of July, for remember. And 23rd of July or 24th of July, the head of Ukrainian Special Intelligence Service, Burba, and people around him made the decision to provide this operation. Of course, capturing people from the territory of Russia, Belarus, will lead to broke this peace agreement. And of course, taking on the hands which decisions should be made, Zelensky, Yermak, or people around them, they understand the importance of the peace agreements. And I think there should be an order, a formal order, to postpone this operation after the date, later than date of starting the new stopping of war, of starting the new peace agreement. Moreover, most of these people who provided this operation moreover, we should remind that Mr. Burba is close to Mr. Poroshenko, ex-president, and one of the main Ukrainian opposition leader who is competing with Zelensky. So, in the office Ukrainian of President Mr. Zelensky should understand that this operation in this date, which lead to broke the truce and new peace agreement, should be just a political operation of Petr Poroshenko and people who are connected with him against the peace agreement. So it also calls us why most of these people was dismissed in the few days after the broken this operation. So the situation with Bellingcat is very hard, it's very strange. I think this history will go on because there should be information and evidence about the participation of Yermak, of somebody more in this postponing and this broken this operation. Of course, Ukrainian right side opposition used this situation to make claiming to Zelensky with Russia, with connection with Russia, with fluid information to Russia, and but in any case there is no political crisis for Ukraine because because the result of investigation of Bellingcat doesn't have any big sensation and doesn't have any dangerous information for Zelensky and his team. But I feel in this situation not very good because we should remind that Bellingcat is very close to our Western partners and I don't want that this investigation should be an instrument on influence for Zelensky or his team or blackmailing Ukrainian government. And of course we will talk about the public opinion of Ukraine according to survey by the sociology group Rating, which was held in November 10-13, 2021. In the presidential rating continues to lead Vladimir Zelensky. 23% of responders support him and is ready to vote for him. For nowadays, in comparison with the poll it was published this company also a week ago, the president's rating changed within the statistical error near 1.5%. Petr Poroshenko 13%, minus 1%, Yulia Tymoshenko 11%, unchanged, Yuri Boyko 9%, minus 2%, Dmitry Razumkov 8%, minus half a percent, Evgeny Murayev 7, Igor Smeshko 7, Groisman 6, Oleg Leshko 3%. The rating of other candidates is less than 3%. In case of electoral revival in the second round, Zelensky wins in pair with Poroshenko 59% and 41. In pair Zelensky-Timoshenko 59 till also 41. In pair Zelensky and Boyko 62 to 38. In parliamentary rating, the leaders are the servant of people, 70% of support. In comparison with the poll published rating a week ago, the party of president changed within a margin of error on near 1%. European Solidarity 14%, opposition platform 11%, Fatherland of Timoshenko 10%, Dmitry Razumkov 8%, Murayev's party, ours, Nashi, near 6%, Strength and Horror 6%, Ukrainian Strategy 5%. The rest of parties do not overcome the 5% barrier to parliament. For example, Leshko Radical Party near 5%, less than 5%, Impact of Vitaly Klitschko near 4%, Partia Sharia 3%, Freedom 2%. The rating of other political forces is less than 2%. The rating of trust, it's very interesting, the rating of trust in politicians is topped by Vladimir Zelensky. 38% of respondents trust him. At the same time, 58% don't trust him, and balance minus 21. For 2 weeks, the balance decreased 1% minus within the margin of error. Since September, the balance of presidential confidence has lost 23%. According to rating, then the level of trust to president was 50% versus 48%, and according a positive balance, it was plus 2%. 26% of voters trust Yulia Tymoshenko, 72% don't trust. Balance minus 44. Petro Poroshenko is trusted by 5% of Ukrainians, not trusted by 73%. Balance minus 48. 24% also trust Yuri Boyko and 57% don't. Balance minus 35. Anti-ratings of politicians is headed by Poroshenko. 44% would not vote for him under any circumstances. In September it was 45. 35% Yuri Boyko, 34 Yulia Tymoshenko, and 32% of Vladimir Zelensky. Anti-ratings going up for 8% starting from September. 26% of Arseniy Yatsenyuk, 22% of voters Oleg Leshko. The result of the study indicates that from September 2021, public opinion in the president has significantly decreased. The overall balance of trust has lost 23%, and the anti-rating has grown by to 8%. As a result, almost a third of voters will not vote for Vladimir Zelensky under any circumstances. In the party ratings, the conditional Razumkov party is showing positive dynamic so far. The party of the ex-speaker passed the 5% barrier, and with a result of about 8% is approaching to the 4 parliament's leaders, ahead of the other parties. As we see during these ratings, during these sociological surveys and other different sociological surveys, the situation for president and his party is going to the worst way, because almost because the Razumkov's crisis, because Razumkov's takes the part of voters from the presidential ratings of Zelensky and from the party ratings of servant of people, but also because the problem with the energy sector, problem with the corruption, and with a more deeper conflict inside the team of president. Dmitry Razumkov also prepared and presented this week his informal parliamentary group in Ukrainian parliament, which consists from 24 persons for nowadays, and this group, it looks like, became a new political power inside of Ukrainian parliament. Without the deputies in this group, deputies which were elected by the lists of servant of people has no in Ukrainian parliament mono-majority. They formally has mono-majority, but in fact there has no more than half votes inside of Ukrainian parliaments, and many votes in this week, many draft laws which was going through Ukrainian parliament unsuccessful this week, shows for us such crisis. Thank you, friends, for watching this TV vlog, YouTube vlog. Please write down your question. I'll be very glad to answer for it. See you next time.